if no action is taken for next 6 months, it will lapse.
So today we are doing exit poll. So I think it is exit poll conference.
Pardon?
It is an exit poll conference.
Why?
Voting has been done.
Sir, now I want to understand the possibility of the bill Lok Sabha passing this session itself.
Yeah.
So my views are very clear. So I won't reiterate.
We will leave to the next few minutes.
Okay.
Avinash, are you ready?
We can start. We have 13 members.
That's why. I'm just checking whether Avinash got disconnected, I think. Tulika, can you just check?
Yes, sir, I will just ask. I will ask.
No, Avinash was there, but I think he got disconnected. Yeah.
No, sir, I am here.
Okay.
I'm listening your debate and discussion.
Okay. Okay. Every time we have a meeting, at least we spend a few minutes to talk to each other. Okay.
Good habit, sir.
Good evening, friends. Without waiting further, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you. In particular, I am very happy to see Professor Avinash and his colleague Tulika also, maybe more of from his institution should be here. Now, it is also my privilege to introduce Avinash. Of course, he is the Dean of the Manipal Law School. And in fact, his introduction is quite interesting. He is a person of a rich academic as well as industry experience. A specialization in competition law, then regulation of AI, robotics, and governance of internet. He is a PhD from UK, LLM from France, after LLB from the University of Delhi. He has held positions as Dean GLA University, Dean IFIM Law School, Bangalore. He has been an advocate of Supreme Court of India, and surprisingly for many of you, he has also worked in Deloitte India as manager, senior consultant E&Y. So he has got industry level experience, and he is a person of wide interest surrounding law. We are very happy to be associated with his institution, and he is our special guest today. I will request Professor Avinash to say a few words before we proceed further, and he can also introduce if any of his colleagues are there in the meeting today. Yeah.
So, first of all, this opportunity to me as well as Manipal Law School and my colleagues, Tulika, she is with me. She is working on this project. So, what we believe from the Manipal Law School side that last year when we started talking about the importance of data privacy law in India, at that time we realized that there is no need of quality programs, especially in the law schools. Good organizations, expert organizations like FDPPI, they are giving good certificate programs for the industry people, but at the academia also we need to develop some industry focused master's program. So under the guidance of Sir and some other people from the data privacy community, we started working on this idea that let's create some quality programs, and this year we started LLM program in data privacy and cyber law for the regular mode, for the students as well as for the working professionals. So I think for our LLM program and today's webinar and yesterday's, the bill, I think it's quite interesting for us, because when I was talking with my friends and even within the university that, hey, you are going to launch data privacy LLM, but are you sure this law will come? So frankly speaking, that time I had no idea. I said, God knows, okay, only God knows that whether we will see this law before the end of our LLM program, because we are ending in June 2024. So finally my gamble worked, and we are almost there, because I just want to tell you, because we were having this discussion that presenting a bill before the parliament, but then we should not forget that competition amendment bill was presented in parliament, I think, twice, and then it didn't see the light, So see, this parliamentary process is very tricky in Indian system, and this regulatory environment which we are observing in last 5-10 years, I don't want to be political, but the point is that it's very difficult to get through. So this data privacy bill, we should be very happy. It's a good party time that yes, finally we have something. But yes, in next few days we will see how government is serious about it. Government is very serious about it. Let's see how it goes through. From my experience as a regulatory lawyer, I can say the beauty of regulatory law is not in the act, but on two things. One, the regulations or the guidelines issued by the regulatory body, and then the nature of the regulatory body, who they are, where they come from, what is their mindset, So it's going to be a long journey as per my understanding, but yes, we started something good today. Like yesterday we had some bill in the parliament, and I hope that Manipal Law School and FDPPI, we are collaborating together. We are planning to enter into MOU to do some joint research work, training, teaching. So I hope that this event will help us as a law school, as a faculty members, to understand what is the data privacy law. I know little bit about data privacy law. I'm not that expert. You people are super expert in data privacy law. But we would like to learn from you that event will help us as a... Okay, fine, maybe some. So, Navi sir, I will stop here, and I congratulate you to organize this very quick, industry-focused data privacy webinar, and I strongly believe that this webinar will give a lot of understanding, and it will really demystify this bill to many students and working professionals. So again, thank you very much, and I also like to thank my colleague Dr. Tulika Shri. She is working in MLS. She is very bright faculty, LLM from NLS Bangalore, PhD from NLS Bengaluru, and so Tulika is also expert like me, like in competition law. So me and Tulika, we are working together with FDPPI, and we are expecting good outcome of data privacy law and regulations in next 1 year. Tulika, thank you very much for your help, and over to Navi sir.
Thank you, sir.
For those of you who are not fully aware, FDPPI and Manipal Law School are entering into MOU for collaboration, not only for the next upcoming IDPS 2023, as well as for on conducting of other seminars, maybe more roundtables, and also in organizing some MDP programs, as well as contribute towards their LLM, which is having some component of data protection law. We are very proud to be associated with MLS, which is part of the Manipal Academy of Higher Education. They have a beautiful premises in Yelahanka, and a equally well equipped and very impressive auditorium. Like all major education institutions, and definitely we will be happy to be working with them. In fact, we were discussing last week when we met him about conducting roundtable conferences on different aspects of say DPDPB as applicable to different sectors. You know that we conducted in June the impact of DPDPB on health sector here. and we are now planning to have an event in Chennai, if possible, on the retail sector, and maybe on other segments sooner or later. So when suddenly this particular bill came, I thought, and one of our members also suggested we cannot have a discussion on a DPDPB. Then we thought that this is the right time, a round table, at least virtually, and associate MLS also as part of this activity. So that's why we are here. Now, we have, of course, here a number of professionals. Many of them are from our FDPPI community, and there are people from outside FDPPI community also. And as we have observed, this time there has been a lot of awareness about the data protection law. So that the law came on 3rd August, yesterday in the afternoon, but by today you can see not only a number of articles in newspapers, there are many experts who have also recorded their views on the bill and analysis of the bill, and there has been a lot of information which is available for our reading. Of course, as I was discussing with somebody earlier, we have, of course, two kinds of, say, people who make comments on such bills. One set of people who are critical of the bill, and they always say that why don't you put it up to a joint parliamentary committee so that let it go for another 2 years, kind of a thing. There are very few people who look at the glass as half full, and FDPPI actually belongs to that rare segment of the market which tries to look at what we have achieved with the bill so far, though we could have achieved a lot more. In fact, here we have both the advocates and law professionals who look for how the bill is protecting the privacy right of an individual, what are its shortcomings, and so on. We also have industry people who are actually looking at how this act will affect their day-to-day activities like collection of personal data. So probably we will try to address the concerns of the industry, because compliance is what we are looking at. Say now, whether the data protection code is having a good composition, whether good people will be there or not, definitely a concern as far as the government is concerned. But for a company, I am only looking at what are the data protection principles which are there, what are the rights I have to do, what kind of penalty I have to bear. So our approach, which even during this particular conference I would like to follow, is look at the impact of DPDPB on the industry, and then let us discuss around that. Obviously, there will be people who would like to discuss about the various media reports on what should have been done better, and why there is a lot of issues associated with this. But I suppose most of you will agree that let us focus more on the positive aspects of the bill. Now, with this, I would like to start the discussion. Of course, this is a roundtable conference, so any of you could perhaps be able to get on by contributing your thoughts. But my request to all the speakers is keep your response short. Maybe you can come multiple times rather than taking more time for one specific question. Okay, so let us first start with one of the issues which have been making rounds. That is, does this bill become a finance bill obviating the need for passage by Rajya Sabha. This is one of the issues which many people are expressing, that since there is a presidential consent to treat this bill as a money bill, and that small communication was attached to the papers which were submitted or tabled in the parliament, there is a feeling that the government is trying to ensure passage of this bill with its majority in Lok Sabha, so that any remote possibility of the bill getting stuck in Rajya Sabha is reduced, which is important for us, because if it is so, then the bill will get definitely passed in the next 1 week or 15 days or something like that. So that is one issue I would like the experts in this group to comment as to whether they consider this bill as a finance bill so that it can get through faster. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on this? Objections raised by one of the opposition members, and Mr. Ashwin immediately clarified that this is being presented as a general bill, and even Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar in his interview which was published by NDTV today, he has also said general bill. Okay, now what makes this bill look like a finance bill is, one, the budget for this particular setting up of data protection board, which is 25 crores, is expected to be given from the Consolidated Fund of India. Secondly, any penalties which are collected are going to be credited to the Consolidated Fund of India. We know that Data Protection Board is a body corporate. It will have its own existence. There will be perhaps a bank account in the name of Data Protection Board, and in the case of GDPR supervisory authorities, most of them collect the penalty in the name of the supervisory authority. Okay, so here the government is saying that the penalties collected will go directly to the Consolidated Fund of India, and for future expenses of the Data Protection Board, the government will separately allocate the money, so that there is no incentive for the Data Protection Board to actually impose fines, so that that will increase their revenue. This is one of the charges I had on many supervisory authorities of the GDPR, particularly the Luxembourg Supervisory Authority, which imposed $887 million fine on Amazon for a country which I think has only about less than the population of Bangalore city or something like that. Okay, okay, that is the way they look at it. So this fact that money is being drawn from Consolidated Fund, credits are being given to the Consolidated Fund, I think that is what has made the nature of this bill look like a finance bill. So I want Mr. Avinash, you have any comments on this, or Kodamram?